Max, I'd like to talk first about Uptight. Since we're at this retrospective and you're seeing some of these films again, what are your feelings about this film 13 years later?
What are my feelings about Uptight? I still enjoy it. It's a very important film in that it showed us in varying roles or whatever, and it broke some stereotypes that, all of us think and act the same way, which is not true.
Some of the reviews said that it doesn't reflect the Negro, the, in quotes, Negro point of view.
The Negro viewpoint. I have always been confused by the Negro viewpoint because I don't know what it is, Sandra. I really don't. It's somebody sets out a standard that we should abide by, and if we don't, we are not reflecting the Negro point of view or the black point of view or whatever it is. It didn't reflect what was going on at that time, no. It was a very commercialized, a good film, but a very commercialized, safe version of the militant thing that was happening at that time, because we were being stoned to death then. A lot of terrible, atrocious things were happening to us at that time, so that's not what the film is about.
In the film, you played a, quote, militant, unquote. I use that term guardedly. How did you feel about doing that part?
Well, I didn't mind being called a militant, because I am a militant, so I don't mind that, okay. I mind the fact that they limited my role by calling me militant. In other words, because I said down with the status quo, that I'm a militant, but the man also loved his mother, he loved his friends, and he had human levels, but they never relate to that.
Is that some of what you tried to bring out in your work, the human levels?
Oh yeah, because that's what it's about. Because if you can't get to love, then you can't get to anything else.
You seem to be a very spiritual person. What is the source?
The source.
The source.
Well, I come from a long background of spiritual people. My great-great-grandfather, great-great-grandmother were seers. My mother was a seer, one of the leading seers in this country. And most of my life I've kind of run away from it because people used to call me spooky. But I've just accepted it. I know that there's a greater source that protects and guides me, and that's why I'm here. And show business is just a platform. That's all it is.
Or something else?
Oh yeah.
Like what?
To try to turn minds to ease some of the suffering in the world, to help people. Because other than that, it doesn't make sense, because I can take your show business away right now.
True.
Right, but I can't take your source away.
Very true.
Right.
Talk to me about Dark Clowns Kicking Ass.
Dark Clowns Kicking Ass.
It's a novel?
Yeah, it's a book. It's a collection of stories that I put together. It's an iconoclastic point of view of the race thing. I'm trying to knock down racial barriers, because when race things don't mean anything to me. Because if I'm looking at you, I'm not dealing with you because you got brown color and you got certain colored eyes. I'm dealing with you as a human being, part of a planet that we all have to share. But this book is really trying to knock down the racial myth that we are the same and that it is important, because it's not important.
These films that you make, such as the Mack, go over to Africa, and for some people they're the only representation that they have of what black people are like in the United States. But some people in the black community say, that's not me, I don't want to be represented that way.
I'll tell you where it started. It started in the studios because in 1971, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm glad you people stopped by. I get a chance to say this finally. I've been wanting to say this now for 8 years. 1971, Hollywood was dying, looking for subsidization from the government, and suddenly somebody came along, God bless him, named Melvin Van Peebles, okay, and did a film, and whatever you might think of it, called Sweet, Sweet Back's Badass Song. And it turned this entire industry around. And suddenly they said, wow, there are black people out there who go to see movies like we hadn't been going all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And suddenly, black films would be made and made and made and made, and nobody's giving credit to the fact that those films literally saved Hollywood. And I'm gonna tell you something good, because I'm a very positive person. Right now, we're almost back in that same position.
We definitely are.
And those people who are around, who wanna make films, are gonna be making films.